There are forests that feel alive, and then there are forests that feel aware. Deep in the mountains of Vermont lies a stretch of wilderness so unsettling, so unnervingly silent, that locals refuse to walk it alone. A place where compasses spin, sound dies, and people vanish without a trace. They call it the Bennington Triangle, and for 5 years, between 1945 and 1950, this forest swallowed people whole. Not one body was ever found, not one clue, not one explanation, just silence. The forest that watches the Bennington Triangle is dense, ancient, and strangely quiet. Hikers often describe the same sensation, a feeling of being watched, not by animals, not by people, but by the forest itself. Birdsong stops without warning, wind disappears, even the insects fall silent. It's the kind of silence that presses on your ears, the kind that feels intentional. And for 5 years, that silence hid something darker. The first disappearance, Mitty Rivers in 1945. An experienced woodsman named Mitty Rivers led a group of hunters into the forest. He knew the land better than anyone. He could navigate it blindfolded. He was the last person anyone expected to vanish. But on the way back, he walked a few steps ahead of the group. Just a few. He turned a bend in the trail, and he was gone. No sound, no struggle, no footprints, no broken branches. Search teams combed the forest for weeks. They found nothing. It was as if the trees opened and swallowed him. The second disappearance, minus Paula Weldon, a year later, in 1946. Paula Weldon, an 18-year-old college student, went hiking on a popular trail. Dozens of people saw her walking. She was only minutes ahead of other hikers. She turned a corner on the path and vanished. No one heard a scream. No one saw her leave the trail. No one saw anything. The search for Paula was massive. Hundreds of people, dogs, planes, volunteers. Nothing. Not a shoe. Not a scrap of clothing. Not a single clue. It was as if she stepped into thin air. The third disappearance, James Tedford. In 1949, a veteran named James Tedford boarded a bus heading home. Passengers saw him sitting in his seat as the bus approached his stop. When the bus arrived, he was gone. His luggage was still on board. His ticket was still in his pocket. His seat was still warm. But Tedford had vanished from a moving bus without anyone noticing. The bus never stopped. No one saw him stand. No one saw him leave. He simply disappeared. The fourth disappearance, Paul Jepson. Later that same year, an 8-year-old boy named Paul Jepson vanished while his mother fed pigs on their family farm. She turned her back for a moment, just a moment. When she looked again, Paul was gone. Search dogs tracked his scent straight into the Bennington Triangle, and then the trail stopped, abruptly, as if he had been lifted into the air. The fifth disappearance, minus Frida Langer in 1950. Frida Langer, an experienced hiker, slipped into a stream and told her cousin she'd run back to camp to change clothes. She was less than half a mile away, a short, easy walk. She never arrived. For months, search teams scoured the forest. Nothing. Then, 7 months later, her body was found in an area that had been searched repeatedly. But here's the part that shook everyone. Her body was too decomposed to determine cause of death, yet somehow not decomposed enough for having been outside for 7 months. It was as if her body had been placed there later. By who or what, no one knows. Theories. None of them make sense over the years. People have tried to explain the disappearances. Some say it was a serial killer, but the victims were 2 different men, women, children, hikers, passengers. Some say it was wild animals, but there were no signs of struggle, no blood, no tracks. Some say it was the weather, but the disappearances happened in different seasons, different conditions, different locations. Others whisper older stories. Stories from the indigenous tribes who avoided the area for centuries. Stories of a cursed land, a hungry forest, or a stone that swallows people. Stories of a place where the veil between worlds is thin, where people don't get lost, they get taken. The silence that remains today. Hikers still report strange things in the Bennington Triangle. Compasses spinning, voices calling their name, footsteps behind them, with no one there, and that same suffocating silence, the kind that feels like the forest is holding its breath, waiting, because the Bennington Triangle never gave back its missing. Not their bodies, not their belongings, not their stories, just silence, and the unsettling feeling that whatever took them is still there. If you like these stories, please like and subscribe.